This is Joe Hoskin, and I'm here this afternoon with Ian Fletcher, who's the CTO at Grass Valley. Good afternoon, Ian.
Hi, Joe.
We are in a noisy background, so that's why we're kind of speaking with raised voices. Ian, I'm going to start by asking you, it's a hot topic, but what areas of AI is Grass Valley adopting as part of your product portfolio?
Well, there is obviously a lot of hype around AI, and I get slightly upset about the use of the term when in fact in many cases it's just machine learning in various different forms, or large language models. I think what's been interesting is just how much the large language model, which is just giant statistical models, actually gives the impression of intelligence. So I think that's more a reflection on how we perceive how things like ChatGPT respond to us, and we kind of project intelligence onto it. But it can certainly do some phenomenal things. And, with generative AI, some areas of our industry are definitely going to get disrupted by those kind of technologies. But to us, we just see it as another tool in the toolbox. So we use AI within our development teams. We use AI as a support mechanism within our products. So we have an AI that's trained on all of our products and can help customers in real time. We use AI for things like speech to text and annotating assets within our asset management system automatically. And they're the areas where I think it can really be very powerful in terms of doing really rich analysis of a visual image and then telling you what's in that visual image, so to make it easier to search against those assets in the future.
Okay, so what other tools are you looking at then within Grass Valley that you feel can help improve efficiency?
So the main thing that is driving most customers, the biggest challenge they all have is, doing more with less.
Yeah, we hear it all the time.
So how can we help that? So there's obviously a number of approaches, but the one that we're really focusing a lot is looking at the production tools. Do you really need to put a huge big Grass Valley switcher panel in front of someone if they're doing a relatively simple operation? And also exposing those creative production tools in new ways for new generations of operators. We're all getting on a bit here, but we've got to recognize that just because we used to do it like that, because that's how it's always been done, doesn't mean the next generation, the Xbox generation, are going to come into our industry and they're going to go, what is this thing with all the flashing lights? Why can't I just use a game controller? Or why can't I use voice recognition or hand gestures to do some of these creative tasks? So we're doing a lot of work in that area. We're showing some of that on our booth. And also it just making user interfaces very, very flexible and customizable. So instead of giving you a one-size-fits-all product that you have to use for everything, customers are now using our flexible tools to build control panels and control surfaces, whether they be soft or hard, for specific shows. So I only need 2 keys, I need 4 inputs, I need a DVE. That's all. You only need to give them the buttons to do that. But I also want to control the audio at the same time. So bringing together things that used to be done by different people on different bits of equipment, bringing those together into a nice, simple control surface can really help the efficiency of the operation.
And is that a trend that's happening, or is that one of the trends that you see in this?
It is. It's very much a feedback loop between companies like us innovating and customers then working with us to innovate further. Because whenever we put something new in front of them, customers will go, wow, that's really cool, we could do this, but if you did that. So it becomes a really good feedback loop. And because now a lot of our products are all software-based and cloud-based, even if they may be running on-prem, because they're orchestrated through the cloud, it's much easier for us to develop and deploy new things very quickly. Because whereas in the old days we'd build big monolithic products, now it's all microservices, so it's all these little Lego bricks. So it's very fast for us to develop a new brick, or for a customer to come up with a suggestion, and we then deploy just that tiny little change. So we're moving very quickly.
And does that make it harder or simpler to build a long-term strategy, given how things have changed?
Because we've got a very agile platform now, we've spent the last 10 or so years and huge amounts of money developing the AMP platform. So now it lets us be very agile, because anybody who says they knows what this industry is going to be like in 5 years is guessing, because none of us do. So, and the same for our customers. So they don't know what their business challenges are going to be. So the best thing we can do is make sure we've got a platform and processes internally that enable us to be very nimble, which in turn then enables our customers to be very nimble.
As a final question, when somebody like yourself, a CTO, when you go to IBC, then obviously you're there to work with your company, but what else are you looking for? What would you welcome to see at the show, perhaps from another vendor or a group?
One of the challenges in my role is I very rarely get off the booth anymore.
I can imagine, yes.
But I think I'm always looking, because I look back to a time many years ago when I still have hair, where I was a small startup. And there's a lot of cool startups that come to these shows. And I think looking for those next innovative things, and then using something like the AMP platform to help accelerate their development to bring it into market. Because one of the challenges we have as an industry now is, because it's all going software and microservices, it's much harder for some of these small startups to break into the industry. Because, it's a bit like if you're developing something for the iPhone, in the old days, you'd have to write all the software, you'd have to write your own app store, you'd have to write your own billing system and security system. Now you just write something for the Apple or the Google phone, and you get the advantage of all of their ecosystem.
Right.
And so that's why we've made AMP an open architecture with the open SDKs to make it easier for some of these new startups, or even existing companies who haven't yet made that investment, to go, well, why don't you just come and work with us, and we'll put your product on the platform for the benefit of all the customers.
Right. Ian, thank you very much for your time today. Have a great Sport Production Summit and have a great IBC. Thank you.
Thank you very much.